name is Toots. Means farts. I find farts funny. I am diagnosed and suffering from chronic pain condition and mental stuff. So I have CPTSD. I'm a survivor of ongoing massive childhood trauma, and I have recently sought out evaluation for the psychosis I am experiencing, because it was a little bit hard to distinguish what I have, because I'm basically too functionable for schizophrenia, but I also tick some criteria. I have psychosis. It's not really completely what's it called, specialized. It's basically it has the origin of it's a PTSD thing. Psychosis is, well, I'm not a specialist. I can't really tell you all the big words and stuff, but psychosis is basically when the brain doesn't let you think clearly. Your reasoning might be completely off, but at the same time it makes complete sense to you. So that's basically the overview of what it does. You might be having hallucinations. You might be seeing things or hearing things that are not really there. You might be believing completely unreasonable stuff or wrong stuff. Like, there's a lot of people think that Jesus, the chosen one, cursed. Like there's a higher entity controlling what you're doing. You can be paranoid, and you can be completely deluded, which is, in my opinion, the worst thing, because out of paranoia and out of hallucinations, you with help and a long time coping, you can make sense sometimes of your stuff. Like, I used to have a visual hallucination. It was basically a lot of aliens. Like, I'm a big aliens, that is a very, very big thing, or like higher sentient beings that come from outer space, or like stuff like that. And they come and they see who has been good and who's been bad, and they will eventually wipe out the bad people and collect the good people. That was one thing that I had to deal with. It can be really crippling on you, because it's not just a thought that you have, like a belief. Like, if somebody believes in God, I'm not calling that a delusion, but like, if somebody believes in God, then they think that when they die, for example, they go to heaven, right? So if you have a delusion like this, if you have like such a completely unreasonable belief, it will influence your life. You will prepare for that. You will prepare for the apocalypse. You will prepare for stuff like that, And that is a very, very heavy and crippling thing to experience. So I used to see like these aliens sitting in my downstairs, like standing in my downstairs bathroom, just watching me pee. That's all they did. They didn't really do anything. They just looked at me. No expression. And I go like, I'm seeing aliens in the bathroom. Go to my husband, can you look? There's no alien here. So, okay, thank you. I know now that this is just my brain. But yeah, you can like use audio software, for example, to see if you're really hearing stuff, if there's really sound, or if it's just your brain. Like, you can distinguish. But that's not always possible. And that's why psychosis is so scary. Not scary, is dangerous. If people are not being helped, because you can feed yourself into one of the delusions, and there's people who have done very, very many things that were very, very dangerous to them, like mostly to them. Psychosis can get dangerous for others too, especially if it's schizoaffective untreated. I think that's like one of the worst things. I lost people. and I almost lost myself. And I am safe though, which is good. There's other people who are not. Obviously, over the time, you learn how to cope um, with anything, really, right? So when, as I said earlier, you could, if you hear something, if you see something, if something is off, and you're still sane enough to question it, then it's always good to get help. Like, ask your friend, check your phone on, can you take a picture of it? Can you record it? Can you replay it? That is very hard with delusions and paranoia. With paranoia, I would say it's really hard to live with, but you can try. Let's say I have a lot of paranoia with people. There's other people who are constantly scared of dying or of being infected with something, or like paranoia of things. And I have issues with people. And then that one day, my last really great episode, I thought that somebody from my family-in-law, like my husband's people, I thought they were they're a predator. And I was like, you can't just run around and say like, I think this person molests children. You can't just say that about someone. And it's really hard to deal with that. And then if you, or like any kind of paranoia with people, and I can go to someone I trust and ask them what to do. Like, I can go to my husband, so say like, I think your mom hates me, like in a very devilish, horrible way, because she's always nice. And that's always like an abuse response. Like, I come from abuse. If somebody doesn't think a lot about themselves, their voices or their stuff will probably tell them you look shit, everybody hates you, or you're worthless. But mine drift me into this direction, or being monitored. I've been locked up as a child. I feel very unsafe a lot with people. So how I cope with this, I actually go to someone that I can trust and ask them about their opinion. And then, like my husband, for example, he said, why don't you talk to my mom, tell her about what you're thinking? And oh my god, do you think that is a great thing? But I did it. I actually did it. I went there and I could see that she was sincere in her face when she said, oh god, no, I love you. You're part of my family. And you can't, I don't know, like the love of a mother has helped me get over that, for example. And that's how I cope. I am lucky to have someone around me. I'm lucky to have my dog. If I hear something weird going on, I look at my dog. If she's sleeping, then there's nothing there. I can say, okay, you can listen to your animals, you can listen to your friends, your people around you, your phone if you can, your computer. But there's also like psychosis hits when you can't distinguish these things and when you can't let anyone help you with this. And that's definitely the point where you need professional help. While I was in an episode, I have painted screaming people, because I wouldn't say that's one of the direct things I see, but that's how it feels. So, and I've just started painting one of my shadow people, or the shadow person. I've never gotten around to do more. I just have the outline, the shadow, and that's it. And it doesn't let me paint more. I've tried. My mom was very broken herself. She really wasn't in having the ability to raise a child with. Like, she struggled mental health wise. My whole family we are war victims. We have been slaves of the Russians in the war. So all the women in my family are really fucked up, and the men in my family are all just alcoholics mostly. My dad, he is really a decent man when it comes to like standing up for his family, which makes things weird here, okay? But I don't count as his family because we're fucked up, and the town speaks about us because we're fucked up. So, um, yeah. So it's a very he wouldn't. I don't understand him. I've got a lovely marriage, really, and I think that keeps me going because I can feel if he's stressed or we're having like a small argument or whatever, that really gets to me because my brain automatically tells me this is stress. Your relationship shit, your relationship is doomed. You're all alone and you're gonna be fucked. Well, you don't know about it. Just like with most conditions that you have, it was so bad that when I was a child, I couldn't have. In Germany we have Rollladen. It's basically really nice heavy blinds from the outside, and you just shut them, and then they're really heavy, and your room is dark. You can't see outside, and I wasn't able to sleep facing the window because I always think there's somebody coming in, and I see people through it, like heads, um, either people or aliens, and seeing UFOs and stuff and hearing things. I think as a child, that must, I don't even know, it must have been so incredibly traumatizing. It's crazy enough and scary enough for older people to experience these things, but a child doesn't know that these things exist yet. You know, I thought the dinosaurs were still there when I was young. I knew dinosaurs were still there. But the radio has told me there's still dinosaurs somewhere in America. And there's no dinosaurs. There is still dinosaurs in America. Like a tiny child. There's aliens in the walls. Aliens in the wall. I asked my mom recently which kind of hallucinations I've shown when I was growing up, and with you is always aliens and people coming through windows, aliens in the walls, shapes in the walls, shapes in carpets. They will tell you something. The walls and the carpets will tell you something. If you're just a crazy, abandoned, abused child, everybody's like, oh, she's a bit weird today, isn't she? She's had it rough. Like, people are brushing off pretty well, especially like my mum was the same. My mum's also completely off the rocks, but nobody did anything ever, and especially not my dad. That's really hard to think about because he's got this completely broken child all of a sudden one day in front of his door, and that's my child. He should normally go, oh my god, my child, thank fuck you're here, let me keep you safe. But no, he's not that person. So he's not a very empathic, very nice, friendly person. So at the end of the day, I was never ever safe, and somehow I just did it all myself. I moved about 29 times in 33 years. I carried my stuff myself. I was basically all alone. Never had a car, never had a driver's license, never had an education, never had anything. And it cost me my jobs. It cost me my friends. Shitload of money. Like when you're deluded and you're a good, friendly person, like you need money and food, here, take all of mine. They have to pay your bills. You have to pay rent every month, and your water and your food. But then again, it feels like you don't see it. Literally, this is all psychosis is. If you're not aware, you don't see it. You don't see that you're completely out of money, that you're losing your job, that you're losing your friends. Yeah, I'm out of abuse area now. I've been in abuse area for a very long time, and it's been really. I think I told people, like, I see a werebear standing over there, or like aliens are gonna come and pick us up, or I don't know, like the nature will come back to America and punish America for what they're doing with tornadoes. And this will happen in 2 years. You are a prophet. in these moments. You know that this is happening because it's completely true to you, and people will not be able to convince you otherwise, because I'm pretty sure they tried. It's it's a lot. Like, you I know somebody who thought he walked into the was it like, not government, yeah, like into a government facility and says, "Hello, I work here," because he thought he worked there. That's the thing. It is absolutely is funny because it didn't cause him any harm. But you can do anything. Anything. There's people who think they're fucking the Jesus. There's people who think they're invincible. There's people who think they're invisible. When I have a delusional thought or something like that, and I go to my husband and we talk, and then he goes, "You're not making any sense. None of what you just said makes sense." And then I look at him, it's like, "I'm doubting you." And then after I've doubted him, I remember that I trust him. And then I doubt myself. And that's a tiny crisis. And that can be, if you're not used to it, if these people are not, if you encounter the wrong person with such a thing, it can be very dangerous for them. Maybe for you even. But now I am quite more aware of things, and I trust someone in my life. That makes me able to cope more. But if it would just be me, you'd you'd never. I'd divorce this man and I would move away from here. Sometimes even though it's not right, or it's not true, or if that's not real, sometimes you can't help it. You can't you can't help it in the first place, and you will, even if you will accept that this is not real, you will come back and question it. Because it's real to you.